It is another edition of the On the Mic podcast, and a lot to talk about, but I don't know how much we're talking about the fights. I mean, apparently, I don't know. You can't bet on fights anymore because apparently Patty the Batty just wins everything. I mean, one of the worst decisions in UFC history. But I mean, before that, I think we had, and I'm a little biased, one of the worst call outs in Bellator history. When you got a top 5 contender in the crowd and you just choose to call out anybody else, I have to say, number one, bullshit. Two, I have to welcome my guest today, who I have to say, since the last time we talked, we haven't talked since. She's helped me through a lot. She was there for me when personal tragedy struck. The one and only top 5 contender in the world, Bellator flyweight DeAnna Bennett. DeAnna, how are you?
I'm, well, I'd say I'm fabulous, but kind of what you alluded to. I'm not sure fabulous is the right word, but I'm alive and contrary to what I look like right now. But I'm happy to talk to you.
And a little pissed off. Is that fair to say?
There's definitely a boiling rage. It's not quite here. It's not quite here, but it's like here.
So last time we spoke, you wanted to fight. And when Bellator, and by the end of the year, and when Bellator announced they were coming to Chicago, you were like, great, birthday, I'm there, I'm fighting, I'm ready. And then that doesn't happen. And then the flyweight title's on the line. You don't get a spot on the card. So then you go there, and Liz Carmouche retains her title. First and foremost, what did you think of the rematch between Liz and Juliana Velasquez?
Honestly, it went how I expected. I expected Liz to win. I knew she was going to come in with everything that she had. And I feel like Velasquez let her emotions get too much of her. She's like, that's my title. I didn't actually lose. And just hearing the different interviews between the two leading up to it, I was like, Liz has this and it's going to be more decisive. Just the way that she was able to kind of zone in and focus. And I'm like, it was a beautiful, beautiful submission. And you could tell she was going for that the mounted triangle arm bar, and then she was only able to get the arm bar, which was beautiful. But it was a good fight, and like I said, it went exactly how I expected it to.
So, and then she calls for Alima Lay McFarlane at 135. And I just, you're there immediately after the fight. And obviously, you just explained it went how you thought it would. Immediately after the fight, before she grabs the microphone, what are your thoughts? Are you like, great, I'm next, I should be next, or close to next? Like, what is immediately your thoughts?
um, See, here's the thing. I hope that I'm next, but I never assume just because I've been in this business forever, and so it's like I don't know, but like I obviously think that looking at the top 10, looking at the people that are on the top of the division, like for me it's clear. And like you could say that my opinion's skewed because I'm talking about myself, but it's like look at the people that we have. Like, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, this should be the case. So, I think I have a strong case to get the next fight. And was I surprised that she didn't say my name? Like, no, not at all. Especially if you watch the first fight of ours, like my hamstring stayed intact. If my hamstring would have stayed intact in that first fight, she would have been handed a loss in her first Bellator fight. Like, I believe it, but like, here's the thing: it didn't happen. She ended up winning. That's a fact. So it is what it is, and I knew that I would have to work my way back up to the top. But for her to call out Alima at 135 and then to call out Kana, I was like, okay, now that's surprising. I did not expect those two names to come out of the mouth. Like, you think I would be ready for anything, but I was not ready for that.
Yeah, and in all due respect to Liz, I personally prefer when champions or fighters in general say, whatever they give me, I'm ready. Now, obviously, you have, special circumstances. If there's a rivalry brewing, if someone's got beef with somebody, you call them out, right? We all love those specific call outs. But when it's kind of up for grabs, I don't know. Like you said, the two most surprising names, like Liz won, great, good on her. but she chose the two most random names she could possibly choose for her next opponent. So
Absolutely.
I guess the next question is then, should your next opponent be a little worried? Because I would imagine there's going to be a pissed off DeAnna Bennett in her next fight.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, just because she called him out doesn't mean it's not going to happen. But I'm not going to hold my breath because, let's be honest, I can't hold my breath that long. And so I'm not going to hold my breath, but we're going to see what happens in the next week or so, or what comes about. But yeah, whoever does get into the cage with me next, like, listen, I'm coming with everything that I have. And, you know, I'm pissed off because I said that in my last fight, because my last fight, I wanted that finish so badly. And I actually, a week before the fight, I actually sprained the AC joint in my shoulder. And then I actually found out that I broke the tip of the AC, the bone. I broke the bone, chipped it off. And so I had little bits like floating around inside. So for the last week of camp and then fight week, I couldn't use my arm at all. And so I was pissed because I wanted that finish. And like, I was going to finish her. And like, if you saw the first round, I put everything I had into that. And I was on top of her, mounted everything. And then I was striking her with my shoulder. And then I got back to my corner between rounds. And I was like, ooh, about that one. Maybe I shouldn't have hit her with my bad shoulder. But yeah, like I've been doing this for so many years. I have a clear goal that I want to achieve in this sport. And anyone they put in front of me, I'm going to beat them, and I'm going to do it as flashy as I have to make sure that I get that title shot eventually. Like you can keep not saying my name, but eventually you can't run. Eventually you're gonna have to get into the cage with me. So, I mean,
there it is. I just got my title for my next story on you, DeAnna. I absolutely love it. So happy. You know, to hear you think like this, because honestly, you know, maybe I messed up, because we were supposed to be doing preview shows, you and I, for like the big fights. I was supposed to have you up here, you know, to get you more camera time, and then make my pitch to Bellator to get you on the desk. Wow. You would have been great on the desk this past weekend, and you were there. DeAnna, I screwed up. I don't know. I dropped the ball. I'm sorry. I gotta do better in 2023.
I say we'll do better together. Yes. It'll be a joint adventure. And I've been off in my own little world the last couple of months myself, like bouncing around and everything.
I mean, that's okay. So. But so where are you in terms of schedule, health? By the way, let me just, and I'm not just saying this because you're one of my favorite people in the world, but holy shit, you went through a fight with an AC joint injury. As a football fan, a quarterback gets an AC joint sprain and they're out. They're done. Like, you can't play football at quarterback, but DeAnna Bennett can go in and whoop somebody's ass for 15 minutes with the same injury. I mean, hats off to you, honestly.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was very, very painful, and I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I never once in my mind did I think that I was gonna pull out of the fight. Like, I was talking to my friend I train at his gym, Eddie, and he's like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, listen, I don't care. I will beat her with one arm if I have to. I'm making it to fight day. Like, I don't care. It is like the worst pain imaginable, but I will make it to fight day, and I'm going to get in there and win, and I'm going to beat her with one arm. And that's what I did. And so it's completely healed now. We're good. Like, obviously I'm a little healthy. That's a code word for fat. So,
I can imagine DeAnna Bennett's so fat right now. Okay,
it's the worst. My stomach's name is Big Country, and he's like full force right now. Like, oh hey, Big Country, glad you came in for the holidays.
So. Right, I was gonna say, just gearing up for Santa and the holidays.
Exactly, like Santa's jolly and round, and I'm gonna be jolly and round. So take that. So, 'tis the season. But yeah, like I'm healthy. I'm ready. Like, for the love of everything, give me a fight before I do get too jolly and round. Like, I need that extra little oomph. Like, I'm always training. I'm always in the gym. Like, no matter what. Like, even if I'm on vacation, I'm working out.
Anyone who follows you on social media knows that's true.
I hope so. Sometimes if you post a photo, like during the summer, I post a photo on the beach and they're like, "What are you doing? You should be training." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not in the gym 24 hours a day and I sleep there on a cot in the corner and just wake up ready to punch things." I would.
By the way, that comment was written by like some fat, jolly guy eating Cheetos in his mom's basement on his like,
oh, absolutely.
on his like freaking Android. He's like, "Oh, why aren't you in the gym?"
Exactly. And my comment to him is, "Bro, pass one of the Cheetos. That sounds delicious. Can I have one? Just
Every
one."
time you get a troll comment, that should be your response. Can I have a Cheeto?
Ooh. Yeah, bro. What kind of Cheetos you got? Are they the spicy kind? I mean, I'm not going to discriminate. I will eat any type of Cheeto. So
Same.
like, pass them over.
Random question here. I know you didn't really want the fight. You were willing to fight anybody and everybody, heading into your rematch against Justine. And I'm just asking from a personal, like, professional woman standpoint. You feel bad for Justine at all? I know she's had a rough run. Then she tears her ACL, another injury, another surgery. I mean, I understand she hasn't been like top 3 title contender, all that, but she has been a veteran in the sport. And then now, like, she's going to be out another year. I mean, it's, I mean, just, do you feel any way for her just because going through so many injuries like that?
Oh, absolutely. I don't wish injuries on anyone, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I don't really actually have enemies. I'm too much of a goober to be angry at people. It's just kind of like, all right, this is who I am. But no, I definitely feel bad for her because, like, we talked a little bit after the fight in the hotel. I think we both were a little drunk.
What? No way.
Never. I don't. Yeah.
Side note, DeAnna Bennett recommends the greatest drinks ever. The best.
So I'll be honest. This is also a side note on that point.
Yes.
I was drunk before I even got out of my fight outfit and before I even left the locker room after my fight.
What? Did you drink on the way to the locker room?
No. Well, so after the little post-fight scrum, I went back into the locker room, and while I was like cutting weight, I was bored, like walking around Sioux Falls, and I found these like 0 sugar margarita in a can, like basically just like straight tequila with a little lime juice, basically. And I was like, bro. And so you're not supposed to bring that kind of stuff into the venue, but sorry, Sioux Falls.
It just randomly showed up. What do you mean?
I smuggled them. I'm not saying that I smuggled them, actually. I'm going to say somehow they found their way into the very bottom of my gym bag. And there was 4 of them, one for me and one for all of my coaches, allegedly. And that got downed real quick. After the post fight, in the locker room, still wearing my fight outfit. We did that, and like, I just fought. I haven't even drinking water. I haven't eaten anything. I've been dieting for like 3 months for that fight. And so I was like, leaving the locker room, like, okay, guys, about that. So yeah, and then they fed me more shots, and then I got more drunk, and it was great.
That's amazing.
But yeah, the moral of the story was at the hotel talking to Justine, who seemed to be hitting the hotel bar herself, which like we should have met up. Like, we could have had drinks together. I would have been down for that. But she's a really great person, and obviously she wants to fight and get to the top, and like having another injury, like, man, that sucks. Like, I don't like to see anybody who's following their dreams, doing what they love, be sidelined like that. Cause like, I know how it feels after I had my hamstring and I'm like bedridden, not even able to like lay down or sit down or do anything. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And so, I hope she heals up quickly. I hope she heals up fast and that she's able to get back to doing what she loves. Cause like, she's a great competitor. She's been doing this for forever. And so, I wish nothing but the best for her.
I was going to say, especially you guys shared the cage twice in a row. I mean,
yeah, not twice in a row for her.
Right. For you.
She got one in between.
Yeah. But but
yeah.
you know, it's nice to hear that because I mean, I'm gonna kind of transition here. It was nice this weekend up until the actual fight to leading up to the fight to see Jared Gordon, Paddy Pimblett not going at each other, fighting for a bigger message. By the way, did you watch UFC 282?
I wasn't able to. I caught some of them. I caught like the undercard.
Gotcha.
I was busy at a restaurant, and I was watching the undercard because I knew a couple people that were fighting on the undercard, and so but I was driving home listening to and following for the pay-per-view, and like yeah, I caught some of them, but I didn't get to
I
see
was
all.
gonna ask you if that was the worst decision. I mean, there are fighters saying
Oh,
that was the
I
worst.
definitely went back this morning and caught that one because Jared, he used to train in New York, so I'd see him at sparring at Henzo's every Thursday, and so it was a great opportunity for him, and I yeah, I mean they're not wrong. I think it's kind of sixes with that fight, and then I'm sorry, but O'Malley Yan, like
Yeah,
I if there was ever an argument that fights are fixed,
Mr. Krause.
yeah.
Mr.
Well,
Sorry.
there's that one.
Hey,
That
listen,
whole thing.
you know I
I'm
was
not
gonna ask you about
commenting
it,
on
right?
that right there,
You
but
know I was gonna ask you about it. I mean,
I know.
I don't know how much MMA like juicy gossip you get in on. Obviously, everyone's following the betting part of it, but do you hear or do you know all the scandalous stuff that's being said about James Krause?
Oh yeah, I'm I hear it all. I hear it all. Like if you're in an MMA gym and you know people and like I
They
know
know people. Yeah.
I know people and they know people and then things get said and it's like I'm not sure what's happening over in was it Missouri,
Yeah.
Kansas?
Yeah.
One that
Kansas City. Yeah.
it's all the same. So Missouri and Kansas is all the same. But yeah, there's interesting stuff going on. You never think that in that part of the world or that part of the country that there's lots of crazy stuff going on, but I guess because there's really nothing else going on, they're getting wild out there.
Literally.
A little bit. I'm like, so driving myself to Missouri right now. Just
Does James Krause ever appear in a UFC corner ever again, in your opinion?
um I feel like all in due time. I feel like he will, but not anytime soon. That's for sure. So
Good thing he's young, or at least looks young. And I had the utmost
yeah.
respect for James, you know, and while he was fighting and coaching, and it's
Oh
sad to
yeah.
see. But what are your thoughts on the whole thing? I mean, we don't know everything, right? But there's
Yeah.
allegations the fight with Derek Minner was fixed, and James and others made a boatload of money off of it. That's just what the rumors are. We obviously don't know what the
Yeah.
investigation is, but your thoughts, whether it's specifically towards James Krause or betting in your sport in general. I mean, have you had instances where you're like, hell yeah, coaches and friends bet on me?
No, I find it weird if anyone bets on me because I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry. If things don't go the way I want, then man, that's gonna be bad. But I've actually had people come up and be like, I made a lot of money on you, and I was like, cool.
Can I
I'm
have
glad
some?
I could help. So like high five.
No, that's when you
Um,
say I need 10%.
exactly. Be like, so that percentage, eh? Because yeah, I had one of my old coaches was like, we put a lot of money on you. You made people a lot of money because I was like the underdog in my Alejandro Lara fight, and I they bet more than I even made on my purse. So I was like, oh no, and he's like, yeah, I didn't tell you, and I wasn't gonna tell you beforehand, but definitely tell you after, and I'm like, that's insane. So
Yeah.
like maybe don't put that pressure on me
Yeah,
beforehand,
seriously, right?
but I'm like, but I don't ever tell anyone to. I know a lot of people are really into the betting. It's not my thing because I I suck at betting. Let's be honest. Like I can't even make good dating choices. You think I can make choices with money? Like I'm gonna choose wrong every single time. It's not good. My picker is broken. My picker is very, very broken. So, and that's just in general. In life, my picker is
My
broken.
life picker is broken.
My life picker is broken. That's why I have to surround myself with people that actually can like steer my life in the right direction, because it's like, oh, that was pretty and shiny, and they're like, no,
No.
that one. I was like, oh, okay, that's the one. But like, I don't know. It's a hard situation. I don't feel like Kraus and his fighter would ever throw the fight. Like, I know there was a pre-existing injury going into the fight, and so that could, you know, obviously if you have an injury, it makes things difficult, and so that would definitely skew the odds if that information became available to people. But I don't believe that they're outright fixing fights and throwing fights and that kind of stuff. And so, like, it's a hard spot to be in, and like, I just hope that all the information comes out for him, and that, you know, if he is innocent, and I say if just because I don't know the details of it, like, that he's able to get back to doing what he does, because his livelihood basically was taken away from him. Like, and that's a great gym, and there's a lot of great people at Glory, and so to have their coach kind of not be able to corner them, that's rough.
And
So
great fighters, and he was, for all due respect, he was a damn good coach.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So
I know a few people out of there, and you know, they love it. Sorry, that's my big finger because my hand was going numb. I had to adjust, and I'm like, excuse me real fast.
all good, all good. I won't keep you too much longer. Obviously, always appreciate your time. Before we get, to what's next for you, I gotta ask, because we're 14 days out. Yeah, 14 days out from Christmas. What does DeAnna Bennett do for the holidays?
Oh, well, me and my cat, she's around here somewhere. We don't have plans for this year. So, I mean, if the gym was open, I would be in the gym working, but I guess other people have families and they have to do their family stuff. And so, most likely, I don't know. Depends on if it's snowing or not. Or I might find somewhere. Sorry, I was trying to see where my cat went off to. She got really quiet for a second, and so I was like, all right,
Okay. Yeah.
something bad is happening. I don't actually have any plans. Like, my mom's in Utah. I probably won't go out there. Hopefully I'll be in fight camp, and so I'll have something to focus on. So, you know, that's wishful thinking. Like, Santa or whatever's out there. Please, I've been good this year, kind of. Okay, that's a lie. No, I haven't been. Damn. I'm getting a lump of coal and no fun.
I was gonna ask what's on the Christmas list this year.
Number one is always a fight. Like, if I don't have something scheduled, my number one is a fight. And then number two is a fight. I have a cat to support now. Like, she needs a good home, and she needs all the things, because I'm apparently a crazy cat lady now. So, yeah, that actually did sound a little crazy. Ooh, sorry. Yeah, just number one, I want to fight. And then number two, a fight. Number three, a fight. Number four, a fight. Number five, a foot rub from somebody who looks like young Harrison Ford. Number six, a fight. Number seven, a fight. Maybe a bottle of tequila in there. But yeah, that's it.
Cat toys, tequila, foot rub, but most importantly, a fight. That's it.
Absolutely.
All right, that's DeAnna Bennett's Christmas list. Well, let me ask, do you get festive? Do you have a tree up, the decorations? I'll do all that.
I would love to. I'm in the process of moving from the apartment that I'm currently in to a different place. And so I'm like, I don't know, it's going to be sometime this month. And so I don't know, I didn't want to put something up and then have to take it down. And so, like, I'm the kind of person, I think that's why I'm feeling all grinchy this year. Cause it's like, I don't have any Christmas up. Like, I'm the kind of person that wants to go all out. I want all of the tinsel. I want all of the lights. I want all the trees and all the stupid decorations. And like, I am all in, and I don't have any of that this year. And so it's like, like, hate, loathe entirely.
Thank you for that, because I'm going to embarrass myself and tell not just you, but the entire everyone watching. I literally am so festive AF. Yes. Every December for like the past 3-4 years, from like the day after Thanksgiving until Christmas, I watch The Grinch every single night.
it. I
Like,
love it. Well, obviously, you know what I just said because that's a
right,
great quote.
right. I was gonna keep going, but I didn't want to. But like, I see the guy on TikTok who like walks around, make TikToks in the Grinch outfit. I want to fight that guy. I want you to train me, and you'll be like the first ever coach of a Grinch off, and it'll be
Ooh.
sounds dirty. I didn't mean it like that, but a Grinch face off. Yeah, me and the other guy who's pretending to be the Grinch. I want the outfit, and I'll just fight him, and then we'll see who the
There
actual
you go.
Grinch is. But no, like I love Christmas, but I don't. That's my tradition. I just watch
I
it
love it.
every
I love
single
it.
night, literally every
It's a
single night.
great one. I've watched it more times than I can count already this year. For me, it's a toss up between that one and then like Muppet Christmas Carol because I don't know
Never seen.
why.
Never
Oh,
seen.
who are you?
I
You
well,
need to watch that. It's
I
like
it's on
it's
my
so
agenda for
cheesy.
tonight.
It's a Christmas Carol with the Muppets and it's yeah, it's cheesy and I love it
I
to
will
death.
report back. For me,
You
it's I kind of rotate this year. I've been doing Elf one night, Grinch, obviously,
okay?
Christmas Vacation,
Ooh,
Eight
sorry.
Crazy Nights, super underrated holiday movie. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, it's fabulous.
I am 30 years old, and for the first time this year, finally watched Home Alone 1 and 2. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so good. They're so
I
good.
can't. I'm finally cultured. I'm finally cultured.
You
Uh,
finally caught up. As long as you got there. Like sometimes it takes a while, but you got there.
I
So
did.
that's the one.
Last thing,
Yes.
not focused to you, but your thoughts. Obviously, it was all over social media. Your thoughts on like the Ariel Patty situation. I got to say thank you for never charging me for having you come on here. I understand making like fighters need to make the most money possible. I've never heard of like I won't say names. I will not say names on air, but I have reached out to bigger names and they've been like, yeah, like what do you have to offer? And I'm like, what? Like
High five and a smile.
right. I was like, I don't have money. Like what? I don't even have that big of a following. So if any of DeAnna's fans want to like follow the channel, please subscribe. But it's just
Yeah.
like I've never truly heard, and this is coming from a guy who's covered, NFL, NBA. I've never had like athletes be like, yeah, you got to pay. What are your thoughts on the Patty Ariel thing?
I think that that's crazy. Like, come on. Like when you think that I think it's an ego thing, honestly. Like you think of yourself so much that like, oh, well, my time is valuable, so you have to pay me for every little thing possible. Oh, you want to speak to me? Pay me. I'm like, maybe I just don't take myself seriously enough because like I oh, there's the cat. There she is.
There she is.
Found her. I could never be like, ooh, you want to speak to me? I need money. I'm like, first off, like, I don't think anyone would want to speak to me because I'm like, I don't have anything that fabulous to say to be able to to have to pay to
I
listen
disagree,
to
but
songs.
I disagree.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes I feel like maybe I should have to pay for rambling at people. So I'm like, so I'm just gonna start talking, and then there you go. Like that's the one. Maybe pay me to stop talking. That could be the one. Like I'll just start talking, and then they'll just like it's almost like a strip show. Like you throw ones at people like on they're on stage. I just start talking, and they start throwing ones at me, hoping it makes me stop. And like when I get enough, then I like collect them, and then like all right,
And just run
we're
off
good.
stage.
And then yeah, run like not dancing, not anything. Maybe you can have some like hip gestures, like maybe a little bit of shoulders in there, but yeah, it's just me talking until they're like, get off, go. But I don't know. I think that's just crazy. I that kind of thing. Just like it irks me just because like, bro, like I know you think you're special and you might be special, but maybe you're special in the wrong way. Maybe you're a little special ed or something like that. Like calm down. Like seriously.
And then saying it was his manager, it wasn't him, and he thought,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, listen, and I'm pretty bitter. I love both Jared and Patty because I love what they stand for. But
Definitely.
and again, maybe I'm just bitter. And yes, this happened before the fight, but maybe just finish every fight. Maybe just don't leave your career up for controversy. I know it's one fight. It's not going to make or break his career, but people are going to remember that. And obviously, as you know, as a fighter, I'm not saying anything you don't know. A win does so much for you, but a controversial loss makes so many more people a fan of yours. Because I had people where I was out last night, kind of just telling Jared's story if they haven't heard it, not for him. It's easy to find on the internet. But then they're like, damn, I think I'm rooting for this guy. And then you got people looking on the other side of the bar going, yo, your boy won. And it's like, then Bruce Buffer reads the decision and people are like, oh man, he got screwed. I'm a fan now. I want to watch him fight all the time. So, that's the thing for me. Like, do I think anyone can just, we know on the media side, we know I can't just pick up the phone and get Connor on the phone. I can't, you know what I mean? And it's no disrespect to you or anybody else who does come on the show. I'm grateful for everybody. Would I love the biggest of names? Absolutely. Who wouldn't? But those fighters aren't going to make or break me. With that, just a few minutes here left with you, DeAnna. What is your message? Obviously, I know you want to fight, but what is your message, particularly to Bellator, but most particularly to Liz Carmouche?
That sooner or later, I'm going to get back in that cage. Sooner or later, it's going to be me on one side of the cage and Liz on the other side of the cage. And it's inevitable. Like, I'm not one of those people like I manifest it. I'm like, no, I don't manifest it. I work for it, and I'm going to keep working for it. And no matter who they put me in there beforehand, like, I'm going to get through them. I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to get and deserve and work my way until they absolutely cannot deny me anymore. And I'm staring right across the cage at Liz Carmouche for the second time. Whether it's next fight or if it's like a few fights down the line or whatever, I'm coming. She has something that I want. It's nothing personal about her. I think she's a great person. I think she's a great competitor. And I think that's probably the most frustrating thing. Like, never in my fight career have I ever been like, you know what? Oh, that person's too tough of a fight. I don't want that. Like, I would fight anyone who they put across from me in my weight class. Like, I'm there to fight, and I want to challenge myself. Like, I never want to be like, oh, I want this person because it's an easier fight. I want to pick and choose. Like, the people that do that, and I'm like, they almost lose a little bit of respect in my eyes. Like, just
you don't want the Sean O'Malley route.
No, definitely not. Like, I'm like, oh, a guaranteed win. Oh, that's great. That's perfect. I'm like, no, I want the hardest person possible against the cage. And I want that because then it shows who I am as a fighter. I'm working hard to be the best. And if I don't fight the best, and if I fight, just people who I think that I'm going to win, I'm going to beat, and I'm going to win in the end, like, what does that say about you? Like, I want, when I get done with my fighting career, because, there's going to be an end. When I get done, I want to say that I did and fought everyone that I had to. I had wars with tough people, and I put my heart and soul into it. And I never backed down from a challenge, and I pushed myself, and I did everything possible that I could have. That's the legacy that I want to leave, not even just in the sport. Like, when I get done, like, I doubt anyone will remember me. But like, it's just for myself and for my experiences. Like, that's the whole purpose of life, is to enjoy yourself and to like do the things you love. And I love this so incredibly much. And so it's like, okay, you don't want to say my name after the fight. You want to try and fight people that you think that are gonna, like, you're gonna be able to easily beat so you can keep your title. Like, that's cool. Like, eventually I will get into that cage. And like, I think that was probably the one that got me the most was when she called out Kana for 125. Her statement with that was, Kana built her way back up to a title shot. And that's how I knew that. I was like, no. The answer is just no, because Kana has fought one time since she fought Liz. Only one time. And so, and obviously she won. She submitted Denise. Was like second round submission. I don't know. so how do you build yourself back up to a title shot by having one fight? I've fought 3 times since fighting Liz, and I've won all 3. And so, listen, I'm gonna keep winning and I'm gonna keep fighting, and I will get that. And I love fighting for Bellator. Obviously, I'm wearing a Bellator shirt right now. I just intentional. It just kind of happened to be the one that I was wearing while I was doing weights in my living room. But I love fighting for Bellator. I love being part of their flyweight division. I think they're doing great things, and like I wouldn't have gone to the show this weekend if I didn't love their productions and everything. And so, I hope that I can make myself worthy to them to be able to fight for the title. Like I want to keep fighting for Bellator, and I want to keep I want that Bellator belt. Like it means the world to me. Like that's the one that I want, and hopefully I get my chance to.
You should. And you're sounding a little like, you're top 5 ranked in their division. You deserve it. And I'm going to leave it at that. I mean, there's no doubting or being like, hopefully I'm worth. No, you're worthy. You're worthy. Just because I'm not saying your name, you're worthy. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of yours. I consider you a friend. Like your performances in the cage have shown that. I mean, find me 100 people that disagree with me. So just 2 minutes here left with you, DeAnna. When would you like to fight? When do you think you'll fight?
I want to fight as soon as possible. I'm a little fat, or else I'd say January. Like, I want to make sure I'm the best version of myself possible. But like, if they did offer me something in January, of course I would be like, yep, absolutely. But I know they have their cards in February. Those are already booked. Unless they wanted to throw in an extra one on the LA card, that'd be cool. Or, I mean, their Dublin card is booked, but I mean, send me to Ireland and have a thing for redheads. So that's why I'm like, Ireland, that's the one. Send me there.
I'm really trying to go to that card. I like that.
Oh my God. Love that. That'd be perfect. Not just because I'm scouting out the crowd afterwards, like, ooh, that's a pretty redhead. And pretty, I mean handsome, because let me clarify that, because too many conceptions with that one. Yeah, a nice hairy redheaded man, Irish. There we go. That's the one. But I want to fight as soon as possible. I've been ready. Obviously I had to take a little bit of time after my last fight to kind of heal my shoulder up. So that was nice to be able to do that. But I'm ready to go ASAP. And I just hope that they give me the fight. Like if they decide to do the fight with Alima at 135, which I could see that happening for Alima's retirement fight, and Liz and Alima fight for the 135-pound title, then I mean I would fight Kana. Kana's ranked number 2. Like she's the top of the division. So like we fight, and then whoever wins that one fights for the title. Is that my ideal situation? No. I feel like I should get the title shot now, but if not, I'll fight Kana. I'll fight anyone. I'll fight anyone that's ranked. Let me clarify. I'll fight anyone that's ranked above me, because I feel like I've proved myself to be able to fight the top of the division. So let's go.
Let's go. DeAnna, thank you so much. Let's do more shows in 2023 together. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday. I really appreciate the time today.